How's it going? It's Grant
And Shelby.
with the Garden of Eater, and tonight we're talking about why shrimp. Why do we keep shrimp? Why did we choose shrimp as our profession of choice? Back in like fourth grade, young Grant had a set of dreams quite similar to what I'm doing now, but I was doing some other type of creature. So we're going to start this off right off the bat with a little pop quiz. First person to get it right is going to get a $25 gift card to the site tgoeshrimp.com. And the question is, what was the very first animal that I bred? So whoever gets that right is going to get a $25 gift card. And were you thinking what it was?
Yeah, I can't remember. There's two options there. I can't remember which one was.
There's only one right answer, though.
I know.
And I don't even know what the other option would be. Like,
maybe I'm thinking it was just your first animal.
Anyways, so that is the question. It is also 1 month to the date that the baby is due. And we are having a little sale on the website. Basically, the sale is buy 10, get 3 free, and free shipping on orders over $100. But there's also a bunch of stuff that is discounted in price, especially stuff that we have a lot of. And on top of that, we're basically getting everything out of the house, as many sales as we can before the baby's here, because when the baby's here, I've got 3 shows back to back to back, and shipping out is going to be very limited. I'll only have like 1 day a week where I'll be able to ship out orders. And the less orders I have to ship out, kind of the better, because that means more time I get to spend with the baby. So my whole point is sell everything this month and maybe take a little break on online sales. They come, but I won't be hunting for any sales in the month of October. But check it out. There's also going to be a lot of different things going up on the website. So any right answers? Like,
no, gecko, turtle.
I just got to be sure you know the right answer,
frogs,
though.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I was that, and I was thinking of your first animal you actually had.
Okay, fair enough.
Pollywog, dogs, no.
But
yeah,
so pretty much why shrimp. My biggest spiel for this whole crazy thing is, and why we have so many tanks. We did that. We covered that last weekend, is because if it wasn't shrimp and we were doing something else, I wouldn't be able to have as much variety as I keep. I truly do not believe there is anything else out there that we could keep that is less maintenance for as many varieties that we have. We're able to do shows, we're able to travel. I honestly feel like we could leave the house for 2 months and I'd come home and everything would be pretty much right where I left it. There would be more babies than there would be shrimp that got eaten from not being fed as much. I'm assuming that there's no power outages or any failures of any kind while we're gone. Like, that's very rare. We had a little issue this morning. I woke up, walked down the hallway, and sounded like a little bit of rumbling going on. And I'm like, what's going on? Where's that coming from? And one of the PVC pipes got dislodged. It might have happened last night during all my water changes. I don't know exactly when it happened, but when I plugged it back in the corner of my eye, I see an orange glob come out of the sponge filter. Sadly, it was some tangerine tigers. So like, that's something that doesn't really happen. Like, we've gone years without that ever being an issue. Like, that was overnight, and like 7 of the tangerine tigers were all like, yo, there's food down this tube, let's go get it. And there was no canary to let them know that there's like no oxygen, and it went rancid, and one shrimp killed another shrimp, because there was probably an ammonia spike and lack of oxygen in that tube. So you live and you learn. I don't want to glue and completely seal that system because I've got plans to do something different. Even though I've had plans for years to do something different, it hasn't gotten done yet. I will get to it one day, right? So I don't want it to be a permanent fix. And that system's been running for years and never came apart. So assuming that no failures like that, can anybody come up with something that's easier care than shrimp that you can leave for 2 months? I don't think so. So when it comes down to it, that is the reason why, is we haven't had any issues really that was any setbacks or anything like that. It's all just been one thing led to another, and before you know it, we've got 438 aquariums with a stand finished for another 36 more. Plans to build another stand for another 36, and that should get done this week too. So if it wasn't for shrimp being so easy and paying the bills and whatnot, we wouldn't be doing it. However, June, congratulations. You are the correct, you got the correct answer. And basically the story behind it is in 4th grade, I went to a school, and every year you got to apply for 2 jobs, or you applied for like 5 jobs and they gave you 2 of them, right? Well, one of my jobs in 4th grade was a pet breeder, and we bred different animals in the class. My pet to breed out was Chinese dwarf hamsters. And we had our own little economy in the school. Every day you went to school, you got paid like $6 microbucks. And then like the last Friday of every month, we had like a little market where everybody sold, and you know, you got to buy stuff with your money as well. So I did hamsters, and in 4th grade, I definitely saw that as like a possibility that I could do that for life. That was in 4th grade, and then by 5th grade, I was bringing hamsters to school. I wasn't the one breeding those hamsters, though. My friends were allowed to have way more hamsters than I was, and had a large setup and was breeding hamsters. And we were going to school with like 5 bags with hamsters in each bag to sell them until one kid got caught. So that ended that. But yeah, once upon a time, I was hustling hamsters. That was the first animal to get going. And the reason why I never got into hamsters is because the females are vicious. They'll definitely give kids some PTSD if they don't know what's going to happen if they don't remove the parents from the babies fast enough, right? So yeah, that's why I'm not sticking with hamsters. And they smell. They're a lot of work. They're a little dirty. Not as easy as shrimp, right? You got something else?
They're not too bad. I unfortunately fell victim to the fact that hamsters might hibernate, and I did not know that. And I lived out in the country where it got really cold, and I don't know, my parents took the hamster away because they thought it was dead too, and I cried for like a week straight. Poor hamsters. But now knowing that, that's something they really should teach kids when they buy one at the store. This is why I also hate that we have these chain stores and not mom and pop shops, so they can learn.
Even the mom and pop stores, though, they don't always teach what's going on.
Yeah.
So, but congratulations, June. That is the first animal we I successfully bred. Yeah. That kind of sent me down this road of possibly being a career. So if I went back in time and I told 4th grade Grant what I was doing today, he'd be ecstatic.
I think I would be the same too.
But message us June to get that gift card.
Thank you. thegardenofeater@gmail.com.
She's won before. She knows.
Yeah. Jeff K, member for 27 months. Thank you so much. Still can't believe that it's been that long too. It says hashtag baby cake from Katie, Jake, and Baby River. Is it your Katie and Jake's name put together? Is that it's so cute? And do you really have a baby named River? Because that was a option for us at one point. It is not on the top list, final list, because my kids say it's a boy's name, not a girl's name, because everyone at their school named River is boys. So we had to mark that one off the list. Kids gotta like the name too, but that's actually pretty cute. Cake. But anyways, go back to you.
So the next animal on my list is dogs. At one time, we gave a little go at breeding dogs just to get familiar with it. We had two really personable dogs that felt like they would make great puppies, and they did. They're the two dogs that we ended up keeping. And basically, long story short, with the dogs, is there's just too many people breeding dogs. There's way too many dogs in the shelters. There's no shrimp shelters, right? So the demand for shrimp is much higher than the actual supply. Where with dogs, I think there's more dogs than there's homes for dogs, and that's kind of one of the big things. We kind of justified it by finding family homes for the puppies to go to with young kids. So when you have younger kids getting a rescue from the pound or something like that, older dogs, they can have certain things on the inside that you don't know about, and they could take it out on the kid with one mistake. So but there's still plenty of puppies that need adoption too. So we decided not to do dogs, but Toot Dog will not be making it to Aquashella either. I'm very upset.
Aww. The Toot Dog said, how many 10-gallon tanks can an Elita 60 LPM handle?
So I would say 60 of them easily, no problem. I'm not sure if the number is like meant for how many outlets you can put out or what the number is exactly. We have an Elite 100 powering 100 aquariums. I do feel like it could do 120, but the problem is like some of the tanks in the corners, some of the tanks in the bottom. If you lower the filters too low on some of them, it doesn't have enough power to crank all of them. So I feel like 100 for 100 tanks or 60 for 60 tanks is pretty much what I want to have. Full cranked, powerful sponge filters right in the middle of the water column.
And then Jenna P says, wait, was there micro society at your school? The school I used to teach at was the only one in the state that had a micro society.
Yeah,
which is the jobs.
I had gone to an elementary school,
yeah.
And it was the first one of its kind or whatever, and I went there the first year.
We still have it but you can only get into it by lottery system, which it's like really hard. I tried for like 3 years in a row for Jaden, and I just kind of gave up because he was doing really good at the school he's at. So, he made friends. I didn't want to switch that around on him.
And then like Powell Middle School also has one too.
Is it?
Yeah. Because like there was like a whole transition thing for kids that went to Powell from it.
Thoughts on gerbils? I've never had them before.
Yeah, they just got long tails, right?
The gerbil?
That's the difference between a gerbil and a hamster. They just got longer tails.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Oh.
Rodents in general, it's just the whole bedding and taking care of
so
the waste and stuff like that. It's not a water change. You got to get in there. You got to use soap and water.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
It was a little bit more.
All right. Next one on the list is cats. This one real quick. Shelby's allergic to cats. That's why we're not doing cats. However, 4th grade Grant wanted to breed tigers. I've wanted to have a tiger pretty much my entire life. As far as I can go back, white Bengal tigers has been my favorite animal in the animal kingdom. One day I will have a tiger. However, we've been looking at Bengals, and there's some snow ones that I might be able to get my fix and not have to risk, getting in there with a full-grown tiger that got mad at me one day, right? So might be a better situation. I don't know, because of how crazy I am, if it will fix the craving that I have to have a big cat. But if Shelby's not allergic to them, we found a breeder, it might be in our
They-
near history and or near future, not
Yeah.
history. But Shelby also realized today that you could leash train them, and she's like, "Oh yeah, Layla will love walking it to the bus stop." And so
They claim their dander and their saliva is different than normal cats. That's why I would be less allergic to them. But
or not allergic at all.
Yeah. So we have someone that's going to let us spend some time with theirs and see how we do. Because I was at a show and they were like a booth over and they didn't bother me. But there's a whole different story between standing there all day in a big open room compared to petting them or them being near me. Because usually the cats don't bother me till I pet them. It's not them, it's me.
And then next one on our list is chameleons. Once upon a time, this is actually something we did. For chameleons, though, the reproductive rate killed me. It was you put a pair together for 3 days, and if you're lucky, the male knocks up the female, right? And then the female takes about 30 days to lay her eggs. Once the eggs are laid, those eggs can take anywhere between 6 and 16 months for them to hatch. So that's incredibly long to wait and maintain stable temperatures and everything like that. And then on top of all of that, when they're born, it still takes about 2 months for them to be sold. And then after that, it takes about another 10 months for them to actually show their true colors. So at a year, you can tell whether it's a stud or a dud on the males. The females, for the most part, they're all dull in coloration, depending on the type of chameleon. Some of the carpets and stuff like that have a little bit of color to them. But the panthers, they're all pink and dull, not much to them. But the males, you don't know until they're about a year old whether or not you want to breed them on with the next generation or if you want to let them go to some pet store in Illinois. So it was some time. And the reproductive rate on shrimp, you put 2 shrimp together. If she's got a saddle and he's mature enough, they're going to go. And just like that, as soon as they've done their job, the eggs are fertile. They drop from the saddle into her belly. She's now buried. And then from there, 30 days, the eggs can hatch. You've got a baby shrimp that's ready for sale in about 2 to 4 months. And you also know that it's going to be a stud or a dud in those first 2 months also. So patience is not something I'm best with. I'm young, but like, let's get honest. I'm getting older every day. The chameleons were not a good match for me, but Layla's got 2 chameleon cages with just about everything she needs to get going on breeding them. So it's probably something that we're more going to have as just a hobby that kind of pays for itself since we're breeding them, and we'll have some babies to sell eventually if all goes well, or Layla will end up with like 2 males or something like that, like we got when we first tried. So you never know what's going to happen. They might just turn into pets, but we certainly enjoyed the chameleons. That's why we got into them in the first place. Then Shelby got pregnant, and it was like, what are we going to do with this single chameleon that's taking up money for crickets? And you have to sprinkle vitamins and minerals on all the crickets. You dust them, and then you've got to replace the UVB bulbs every 6 months. Back then, now we have LED UVB that should last quite a good amount longer. But yeah, it was a cost that I found we could make up if we just spread them out. And that was all great and dandy until I had to take over the family landscape business. And I didn't want to take care of crickets and worms for 2 hours a day because you don't take care of the chameleons, you take care of the feeders. If the feeders are well taken care of, then your reptiles are well taken care of. And it was a lot of work after 12 hours out in the sun being a ginger frying in Florida. So
yeah. Your dad has a ginger son. I was like, all right, let's put him in landscaping. That was terrible. Richard said, what about a girl named Stream? I don't hate it. It's kind of weird, but I don't hate it. It's not bad. And then, what was it? So Hagen Hill said that their daughter, she is River Rain, which Raina was another option that me and Layla liked, but no one else did. But rain is really pretty too. That's pretty. Continue, sorry.
And then on top of like chameleons, we've done other reptiles. The reason why we don't do turtles anymore is because they passed the law. We would very much be breeding turtles if it wasn't for the fact that we spent 6 years taking care of a pair, finally got them to breed, and then that same year that we get them breeding, Florida passes a law that we can no longer own new terrapins, and that means you can't breed them because once you have new baby born turtles, you have a new turtle. So that's against the law. So we've stopped breeding the terrapins. We're working on breeding out some musk turtles, but the problem with turtles is it takes a while for them to get sexually mature. So it could be years before we have baby turtles again, sadly. Maybe we'll buy like a breeding pair, or somebody will gift us something or something like that. We'll stumble across something, but in the near future, I don't see us breeding any turtles, sadly. It's sad. Or the law could get reversed. So
yeah. There's other turtles we could do, but not ones that are worth it because there's just too many imported ones, unfortunately. And you go to these reptile shows and they're just filled with 100 to 1,000 of them for like $10, and you're like, okay, what's the purpose, you know? Tube Dog says, I'm gonna have to make one of your local shows one weekend. We do have the Pasco Swap Meet coming up next month.
I think he wants to go to a show, and I know you're in Northern Florida. There is a North Carolina show the second week of October, and then a South Carolina show, which would be even closer to you, the third week of October, which we would be at both of those.
Grant, did you say put sponge filter in middle? No, he was talking about how the certain pump we were talking about wouldn't push it very well if you like try to put your filter down, and you would have to put it more towards the middle if it wasn't pumping enough air through it. Rodents do smell when not even in cages. I think hamsters are actually like not this like the less stinky of the rodents to me. They're just so little, so they don't really have as much waste as like I had a goodness, what are those called? I just called it Slinky, so I keep forgetting what they're called.
Ferret?
Yeah, ferret. And those stink. I mean, you could smell them from outside the house.
Even if you remove the glands, they still stink.
Yeah, which is why do that to an animal? Like, have it for what it is. Fisk says, member for 15 months. Thank you so much. Says, finally back. Happy for you too. One more month. Yes. Yeah, and as soon as you popped into chat earlier, I was like, oh, I haven't seen that name in a while. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome back.
Sigmund and Roy and Grant with the tigers. Obviously, like, it's not realistic unless we were to have like hundreds of acres, and then, you know, we would narrow it down because I'm one of those people that would need. I mean, you need like 10 acres for just like one tiger to me. Like, they need somewhere to roam. They need a huge place. Like, I hate when I go to like the zoo and how small their cages are. I'm like, you guys could have a really good possibility to have more room for this and people would be happy. But yeah, even Lady R and Petzotic said no on the tiger ownership. Do not condone it. I wanted a panther, and they're also one of those ones. No. Garcia Aquatics member for 22 months. Thank you so much. Says, well, hello, beautiful people. Garcia Aquatics here. I'm sorry I'm not living up to Garcia and how he can make him present in the room.
I saw you were at the fights. You had a good time. Looked like you did.
Yeah, I hope you had a good time. It looked pretty cool. Are you back to? I'm trying to.
It's all good. So we just did turtles. Stick with the reptiles. Pretty much not going to cover all of them, but we did do geckos for a while. Jaden actually just, I don't know if it was last week or this week now. I don't know if I talked about this.
Last week. You didn't talk about it yet.
Okay. We set up Jaden's leopard geckos. We watched them closely. Well, he pretty much watched them closely the entire first day to see how they would do with one another. And so far, they're doing great. He's got some great photos of them. He's like, oh, last night I had the perfect opportunity. Their heads were resting on one another, and they are together. Maybe he will get them breeding, but we just again didn't want to take care of the crickets and worms to take care of the leopard geckos and get them breeding and everything like that. But Jaden, he wants snakes. He's gonna do everything for the leopard geckos, from raising the super worms to breeding out the crickets and everything like that. I'm not gonna make him breed out the crickets yet, but once he starts getting baby leopard geckos, he's definitely going to need some pinheads and stuff like that. So, yeah. Friday? Okay. I was thinking the weekend, like Saturday or Sunday, but Friday's even better. I will.
I have the day off, so.
Oh, yeah.
It'll work really good. Excited. Sorry. I'm trying to read and think at the same time. Garcia Aquatic says, are you guys coming to Aqua Expo in October?
No, the Keystone Clash is in October. You're not going to go to the Keystone Clash? I swear you're a regular at the Keystone Clash. You know the better expo to go to, even if it's in our own backyard. You got to go to the Clash. But sadly, Shelby will not be making it to the Clash.
He says that, but he's so excited to get all the food.
Who's going to run the booth so I can hang out with everybody? The whole part of the Keystone Clash is hanging out with Mike and Tim, and I can't hang out with Tim if we're both working.
Dixon Design says, I have young twin friends named Brooke and Meadow. See, that's adorable for twins, too. I probably would have chose River and Meadow. But I like Meadow. No one else likes Meadow in the family. I like Willow. I like a lot of them whimsical names. It's been very difficult because I have 3 critics, okay? But I've definitely been very overcritical on theirs too. So it has been, one name has been decided on the whole family, but we're still
holding out for something better. We got a month. There's no rush.
Just in case. And if we can come up with another name and we see her and she fits that other name a little bit more, it's just one of those things. And Tube Dog says, are your airlines from the pump run to the dead end or in a loop system?
They are on a loop system. We have a video on our closed loop system out already. I built the rack, the film and everything for it is done. I just got to do the voiceover, and I'd like to get the rack in the spot on where it's going to go to kind of do the intro, outro thing for it. I'd love to get the new lapel mics too to get that video cranked out. But I won't be doing a closed loop air system video because there's already one out there. I haven't done a rack video because I felt like I wasn't qualified to give a rack video. I'm going to start the rack video out saying I'm not qualified. I'm not an engineer. As much as my parents wanted me to go to school to be an engineer, I had all the grades, could have done it, but who wants to do that much math? It sucks doing the blueprints for the stand. I'm going to explain why I do this, why I do that, and what you could probably do better, but the reason why I don't do the better system either. So it is officially the TGOE stand. I'm stamping that so you can make one yourself. You can do a half version of it like we've done before. You can double it up. You can make it a row higher, a row shorter. It's very versatile. And I'm going to teach you how to make your own blueprint even in that video. So I'm looking forward to it.
Petsonics, I see that Garcia answered you. It's the Gold Coast Aquarium Society. I don't know if it's a website or if it's just posted on their Facebook. Every time I usually look it up, it's really hard to find. But it's definitely on the Gold Coast Aquarium Society's Facebook. I know that. Tank Girl said, "Did you know if any meets closer to Ocala and Gainesville area? I think your closest one will probably be the Melbourne. Where is it? No,
the Space Coast.
Space Coast.
But you
Like,
might
that's closest.
no, because Gainesville is north of us. It's going to be closer to Pasco. Pasco's the only one. There is like a Achilles
the
meeting
Jacksonville
every
one
now
not
and
going?
then, and a Guppy
And that's
one every now and then. But we're
2
not.
hours
I'm
away
not
from that.
part of those. I don't know exactly where they meet.
Yeah.
But we're definitely closer to them than Space Coast, but not by much. Like,
Yeah. It depends on the traffic too, which one would be better.
yeah.
He said he's not going to make it to Clash, and I see Richard's not either because he'll be in the South Florida one. He's got a table. 6-hour drive to Coral Springs. Yeah, I know Space Coast would probably be the closest one to me. I feel like you'd have to look it up, but
See, I don't know how everybody else did, but we just didn't do that well at the last show because there's so many vendors. Like, even if there isn't people competing directly with us, people only have so much money to spend. So, the Clash has always been good for us in that regard. But no offense to Garcia and Richard, I get to see you guys all the time. But yeah, I get to see people in from the Clash, like Rico Stan. Rico Stan doesn't go to any other show but the Clash. So, very upset I haven't talked to Rico Stan in a while. I'm having Rico withdrawals.
Passing Wind says we don't have any in Jacksonville. That's sad. I heard there used to be like a big club in Jacksonville, and they were
well, Brian Covey used to be a part of the club. They just didn't have the actual board members to keep the club running. And they even had Han Tron go to one of their meetings, and we were trying to go to it, but it was like the same week we went to like an aquatic experience or something, so we couldn't make it.
Dixon Design says, what would kill a tank of young guppies but not affect the Neocaridina in the tank?
This is more of a question for a guppy breeder than us. I'm gonna just like kind of beat around the bush and take a couple guesses, but Neocaridina are tanks, and yeah, if the guppies aren't getting enough food or not enough oxygen, or the nitrates or the ammonia levels are a little bit too high, that's gonna affect your young guppies before it will much established Neocaridinas, as long as they're not like imports or anything like that. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy how much more sensitive fish are than shrimp, and that's part of the reason in the beginning of the video I said we do. I'll talk about guppies here in a little bit also, but yeah, I'm not an exact person to answer that question. I'm sorry.
Anthony said, what city and event are y'all going to in South Carolina?
So we have this Southern Aquatic Experience, I believe it's called, in South Carolina. And then I'm also doing the aquatic workshop in North Carolina. And I was kind of expecting to see you guys at both of them, to be honest.
South Carolina is what city, though?
Please don't ask me that. I'm a one show at a time kind of guy. And because they're back to back to back, I can't do that. But one of the shows is planning it out for me since I'm speaking.
Columbia, South Carolina.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that one keeps trying to get me to go to it, and I've now called them and left a message. So the ball is in their court. Yeah, I'm definitely planning on going to that one. Ryan already booked his booth. I got to get on it.
Right. Oh, you didn't book it then?
I've tried. I made the phone call. I should have called him today, and I completely forgot.
Tank Girl, right now, just looking forward to Daytona Aquashella. Yep. I think that one's going to be a bigger one this year. I think we got a little bit more advertisement and people like excited and planned out. Like, I think that's a little good thing about like knowing the show will come back the next year at the same location, so you can kind of plan for it. We'll see how it does this year.
It's pathetic. I don't know what keeps on going on. I could go take a picture of it right now. It is the smallest Madagascar lace plant alive, surrounded by a bunch of like strains and veins of old leaves that have just died days before. Like, it's not producing any significant growth in that tank, and I don't know why. The stems are growing beautifully. The boost is growing faster in that tank than any tank we've ever tried to grow boost in. The Eros didn't melt. It pretty much just survived and is now growing. What else did we put? The Java ferns all melted back and have grown new Java fern leaves like Java ferns do. And we even went to Vegas. We got a bunch of Madagascar lace plants for the tanks to make them look really good, but they came in really melted and bad. Like, they were not usable, but we threw the bulbs in our backpacks and I planted them home, and I've got, like, I don't know, probably 10 Madagascar lace plants that are like that tall now. So I honestly cannot figure out why the Madagascar lace plant is doing that in that one tank. We've been home now for a while. It should be happy. It should be happy.
See you in pieces because it's summertime, and Madagascar lace has a tendency to think it's summertime all year.
But the other tank is, I guess it's just that tank. I don't know.
Yes, Gold Coast is Chuck Davis's club. Yeah,
And that's the only way to put it. It is
Yeah.
Chuck Davis's club.
I actually enjoy. Well, I usually pick out like an artwork. One of the kids will get one, or we'll get one for ourselves. So it will kind of suck to not like get to pick one of those out this year. But I have enough that we still got to hang up. I did get started on some, but I think Grant put one of his up, just hanging up.
It'll be sad
Stressing
that we
me
don't get a Chuck Davis, the Garden of Eden painting on the table with the booth. Like, I like
sad.
collecting those, but it's the Keystone Clash, baby.
Yeah, we're just, what the heck?
It's Dante. I told you.
Just to come in? Scare the shit out
I
of me.
told you. Thank you.
Do you get a toilet bowl cover artwork?
So we can buy them from Mike Labello. I will get one day for sure, but
we need a special one for us. Though.
Yeah,
I want shrimp.
that was it. When Mike Labello had them, the 4 or 5 that he had, I was like,
Or giant
I
cichlids.
don't know. Yeah, they were
like
not
angelfish.
anything we want.
I'll handle guppies.
He's like, oh, I got 20 more of them at home. And I'm like,
They're all cichlids.
all right. So we got a swap meet next month. I'm going to ask Mike which ones he's
How did I not hear him pull
ones he's
up?
got. Yeah, it was weird. We didn't hear him pull up, but
Yeah.
we sure enough heard him take off.
He's got a very loud Mustang. I can still hear it down the road.
At least it runs.
Yeah. Aquarium said, Fantasy said,
Is
are you
Eric
guys...
Wyrock? Hold on, stop
Yes.
everything. Is he going to the Clash?
You better.
See, that's the things I look forward to.
Hello, Eric. Sorry. Aquarium Fantasy said, are you guys going to Daytona Aquashella in November? Yes, we will be there.
Yeah.
We will play by ear on how that goes. We will have a booth. I might not be there a lot. I'll probably be with the kids at the pool because the baby will be really young. So I don't really want him around a lot of people. But Grant will definitely be at the booth, and I might trade off with him, give him a break for a little bit. So it will definitely be the interesting one. This will be fun. I'm excited. We both qualified for the finals of the aquascaping contest. So I'm not giving that up. If I can win $5,000, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna try my best because
$5,000 is mine.
Grant thinks he's gonna beat me. I gotta beat him because they gave us a tie last time, and it's like,
Do you know how much
Not
ice cream I could buy with
satisfied.
$5,000?
none. I'm actually gonna have really good ice cream for our baby shower coming up too. Have a Chuck make a shrimp cover. Yes, he's got to. I'm hoping he will. He's got to work on his shrimp. He's always been disappointed with his shrimp that he's made us like every year, but they've gotten better. Like I liked both paintings, even though they're not like super accurate. They're still really cute. So Richard said, do you want to bring you any fish or shrimp this weekend?
Yeah, shrimp.
Shrimp for sure. No fish. We are not. No fish for us. I'm getting rid of all of our fish, besides the ones outside that kind of like take care of themselves. But almost all fish are going to be like non-existent in this house, besides some of my beta fish. And I'm like trying to narrow it down to just a few tanks for Grant. So when he can help me take care of it, it's just a few of them, not a huge responsibility for him. Passing one said you should order a custom hollow acrylic toilet seat and have live shrimp. That would be crazy. I would hate that, but it would be cool. If I could get one of those, I would actually like order little plastic shrimp figurines or something and put it in, so like when you lift the toilet seat, it all like sinks down and it's got like glitter and stuff. Actually, maybe just like fake duckweed. That'd be funny. And Eric is coming to the Clash. Yes. Is the whole White Rock gang Clash bound? That's not fair. I'm so sad. Don't have too much fun without me. Nathan said, maybe a silly question, but is 2 degrees colder an issue when doing water changes with Neos? No. Especially if you have them, like, if it was like their first day, maybe, but no, it'd have to be at least like 10 degrees difference in the water for them to really have any effect on them. Got a lot of people. Frogs will be at the Clash.
Frogs, your guppies, by the way, survived the Florida winter. I don't know if you've mentioned that already or said that while you were here, but yeah,
we might need more.
Your guppies are tanks
because for some reason they bred in the outside with our double sort of.
I don't know if they did or not, or they just throw
now
culls.
We have orange.
It's a possibility you have to cull them out.
I don't know. They look exactly like our double sorted Japan blue guppies, but they're orange now.
Maybe frogs can tell us.
So that would be nice if you could tell us, because like we still have some crown tail ones, but like I'm pretty sure there was like a couple left over out in that tub out there and we just didn't see it, like a baby or something.
Not that tub though.
It had to have happened. Shelby, you can't let him win. You know that, right? I know. I cannot let him win. So he beat me that first time, and I knew he was going to. Like, the tank just, it's undeniable. And then the last one, we tied. But I know that he beat me, and it's hurting my feelings. And they didn't want to, I think they didn't want to hurt my feelings that he had beat me for the second time in a row. So this third time, it's got to be my time to shine, and I got to do it, baby and all. And if I beat him with the baby, like it's just going to even be more rewarding, you know?
Well, another reason, Richard, why we are not doing any fish, because currently all of the fish tanks have become war zones for Cladophora and getting it out of there. And the newts are like so close to going into their new home, like so close. So I'll probably do some ditherfish or something with the neuters. But for now, I think Shelby put it best. The less I have to feed, the less fish I have to feed every day, the less water changes I have to do on fish, the better off I think you are. So if you want to put some stuff together for shows, though, I can certainly work on something like that. Like keeping fish at the house for online sales, they're so hard to catch too. Compared to shrimp, you can't just like stick a piece of food in the corner and get all the fish to just hang out while you catch all of their friends. Yeah. Like
they'll sit there and they're just like, I'm so hungry, I don't even care at this point. Yeah. They eat a lot. Stephen P. said Grant should do the rest of the stream yelling from the other room. Did you guys hear me when I said that's just what I needed? I think he could definitely hear you, that's for sure. Nathan said, what fish you got?
Can you hear me when I'm blowing my nose too then? Because I'm pretty loud when I blow my nose.
Sometimes you sound like a choo-choo train.
I'm no games when I blow my nose. It's all out.
I have two 20s, needed something new, a 20 long and one tall. I haven't gone through the list of things that I want to get rid of. Some of them are not even healthy enough that I would even give them away because they're just really old fish.
Yeah, they're Achilles on their last legs is basically what we're dealing with.
I got them from breeders.
I don't want to get rid of my Ottos or my Dwarf Pygmies.
Those take care of themselves.
There's not a lot of fish that we actually want to get rid of because like all the guppies and stuff like that too. We got outside. I want to bring them inside. There's not a lot of fish. It's her wild bettas and her Gadeids that have homes in the garage and the hallway. Which I told you the Gadeids could go into that middle tank.
Yeah.
I think that would be good for them. Yeah. The sirens don't have to go in there.
Yeah, and then my beta and Tuitas are getting really big, so they need a big tank too. Yeah. Those
3 tanks are for fish.
Okay.
I want to get the dudgeons out of there, so.
Okay. But if we do have some that I know that I want to get rid of, I will let you know. I know that I need to do that in the next week because we're most likely bringing them all to the swap meet for next month. And getting out whatever we don't want is just going to go and be rehomed.
Whatever doesn't sell, we're going to give away at the male version of the baby shower.
Yeah, all the boys are meeting at our house for after the meeting because I planned the baby shower the same day because a lot of our friends are from out of town coming up for the for the swap meet. So I was like, well, why waste the gas and come to the baby shower?
And then besides that, those that have donated to the registry and bought us stuff for the baby, I'm not going to even try to name names. You know who you are. Thank you guys so much. It is becoming a problem, though, for Shelby. She's getting a little bit addicted to getting a package from Amazon every day.
Yeah.
I can see it in her eyes.
So cute.
And
I've never had something like that. I'm very, very stingy person. So, like, I don't online shop. I very rarely shop at all. And people don't send us stuff. So it's like, it's just been so crazy. And I'm like, is this what these girls feel like when they get, like, they buy Amazon stuff every week? This is crazy. Like, and I feel so strange.
And, like, the problem with having kids when you're younger, you don't have any friends that have money to buy you things. Like, now we have all these friends, and it's been incredible how much we've gotten for the kids for this baby compared to the kids from the last 2.
And I can't wait to show it off. Like one of the live streams, maybe not do it on a regular night so it doesn't bother anyone, but I don't know, to show you everything that people have got us individually.
I think what we should
incredible.
Do is that at the very end of one of the live streams one night, a little bit closer to when the baby's here, because I'm sure there's people that are going to still be donating.
Yeah.
Is that Two Dogs icon with $50 there? My eyesight's horrible. So if I got that right, wow. I'm just going to give myself a pat on the back. Like lately, I've been doing some crazy like trick shots.
Picture,
Today I threw 2 pieces of straw wrapper into the kids' cups simultaneously. I butchered that at the same time. And I got like, only Jaden was like, oh, and Shelby's like, that one didn't go in. And I'm like, no, it's in there. Like, look. And she's still like, eh. I was like, what do I got to do to impress this one? Like, and the kids were like, well, we're impressed. That was cool. And I'm like, I'm not trying to impress you. Like, there were several things I've done.
Thank you
but
so
yeah,
much,
Two Dog. Are you impressed that I could see that?
Chat. No. For the baby. Love it so much. Thank you.
Two Dog. Dude, I need you to come to one of these shows here in Florida. Or like, just come to the house and hang out one day.
I would be more impressed if you could pick him out, like if he shows up somewhere. I would be more impressed.
You gotta wear that hat and them glasses. I got you. Can't shave the beard.
No.
I got you.
It's a pretty epic picture.
And don't somebody else with that kind of beard find the hat and glasses and pretend to be Two Dog at one of the shows. I'll be so upset.
They'd be like, who are you? Thank you so much. Rinks Shrimp Farm became a new member. Thank you so much. Can you grab me a sticker?
Oh.
It's not that far. It's right there.
I'm trying to find where they are before I like go over.
So if you become a member, you get our member-only holographic sticker. Ooh, look at that shiny. So just email us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com and your shipping address. I think there's one person I haven't sent it out to yet that emailed, but anyone else, I will be able to get those out this week and get those to you. So thank you.
And you also get a 10%
Oh.
off code to our site, tgoeshrimp.com. And I'm also going to plug in the sale one more time. Since we're talking about babies, we're talking about codes and sales. You can use your membership codes for our sale. Right now, everything is buy 10, get 3 free. Free shipping on orders over $100. And there's several things like yellow rabbit snails are 50% off right now. Those are Black Friday sale prices. Like, jump on those now because I do not really want to ship those most places at Black Friday, that time of the year. Sulawesi shrimp are marked down significantly in price. This is prime time to be buying those. Those are why those are on sale, but there are several other different things out there on sale. Also, check out the site. There's a few things here and there that we have added back in stock and some things that we will be adding here soon.
Stephen P says 15 degrees warmer an issue because that's my reality with summer water changes. If you do it very fast, it could be an issue, but slowly, gradual changes won't be a problem.
Yeah, it's kind of why we do the whole trickle thing anyways. I'll be honest, my water tank in the garage is warm. I don't know how warm it is, but compared to the trash cans in the house, it's like warm bath water. The trash cans in the house is like drinking water, honestly, to like the touch. So like I do it and I don't have any issues. So I wouldn't be too concerned, but I also fill them up really slow. Like I've got 4 or 5 pumps cranking at once, and I'm able to maintain all of those without overfilling. If I'm overfilling one, it's all of them, right? Because I'm doing something else completely entirely. But yeah, as long as I'm on task, it's not a problem.
Jenna P says, I'll make sure Scotty knows we have to have at least 50% less fun in the class and Shelby can't be there. I'm just messing. I hope to see everybody having a blast and have some cool videos. Like, I really enjoyed everybody singing last year. It was so much. I just enjoy it so much. So I can't wait to see those videos. I'll only be crying. Don't worry. I love it. I'm a big sensitive baby.
As long as Chris is there to help me with Scuba Steve, I don't think we're going to have any issues. Chris, you're going to be there,
might
right?
Not be there.
Oh.
Scuba's having a baby too. And I think Scuba's baby's due right before our baby. So I don't know if he'll be able to. No, it's like
right after.
We'll have to see. But Dixon says, how big are Neos when they first start looking like the adult version?
Instant. I think you're trying to figure out if you have baby shrimp in the tank. There's these little tiny dots swimming around. Those are not it. Those are seed shrimp. If they're bigger than seed shrimp, chances are it's Daphnia. If it's bigger than Daphnia, you might have scuds. But
I think he means colors.
I'm talking about what I think I did. I got to the point, but now if we're talking about what Shelby's talking about, color is a different thing. Like usually you can tell what they're going to look like in the first 2 months, but take Fancy Tigers, Galaxy Pintos and stuff like that. Even low grade Galaxy Pintos with only a few dots on the head can gain a lot of dots from that 2 to 3 centimeter growth spurt and turn into really high grade. So depending on what kind of shrimp you're talking about and what you were talking about, I answered both, okay?
Eric and Shelby isn't going to the class. I guess you haven't been here. I will be having the baby literally the week before. So September 26th is my scheduled C-section, and next weekend will be when Grant goes to the clash. But
yeah, Eric, you're supposed to drive down to Florida for the birth of the baby, and then you're riding up with me to the Keystone Clash.
You've been discussing this for weeks.
What is going on here?
Nathan said, oh, okay, cool, thanks. Let me ask, would it be an issue if it was warmer water getting added or same with 10 degrees as long as the tank has been running for a while? Yeah,
Yeah,
Instead
just
of saving fish.
slowly trickle it up. I'm going for warmer water myself. I think in most cases too, like a little bit cooler water would just trigger most things. And the thing is going slow. Like you don't want to do a fast water change. Not everything's like Corey's where you can dump ice into the tank. So you don't want to do that. You definitely research your species before you do temperature water changes. But when it comes to shrimp, 10 degrees here, 15 degrees there, as long as you're going slow, I haven't had any issues. But I haven't really done a 15% water change different, or 15 degree. I'm sorry.
Frog says, I have double swords in mine too, and some even look purple. Okay.
See, I told
Makes
you.
sense.
I knew.
They look so identical to our other ones, so that's pretty cool.
I knew my stuff didn't get crossed.
Makes sense. So I wonder if that's like a cull, if it had like been previously bred at one point with double
There's
swords.
so much plants in the pond, I just can't cull them. So I really need like lines of guppies that breed really true out there. However, I also need lines of guppies that survive the winter and are good mosquito control. And they got the job done. I like the look of them, even as the double swords. So I think we should just sell them as orange double swords.
Yeah, and she says, if you want more at the clash, let me know. I still have them. Maybe if you have more.
I don't want
brown
more.
Tails.
We have 2 ponds of them. I can't select and breed the ones I already have. But the fact that they survived outside, I have 1 pond from outside, and I have 1 pond from the ones we moved inside. Because I tried my best to move them all inside. However, some survived outside. There's a whole bustling pond of them going on from whatever survived. Maybe just a few fry or a few females, or I don't know what happened, but I guess it only takes 1 female that's been tagged to survive the winter.
Yeah. Dave said, I'm not sure how, but all my blue diamonds died except 3 males. Oh, no. Can I buy just a few females? I did move the males to a 5-year-old tank.
So when it comes to female shrimp in general, we do not sell sexed females. There's a lot more issues with shipping them, and then them not even really doing well for people when they receive them anyways. Personally, as a breeder in your situation, I would probably move the 3 males to like a breeder box and just start all over with brand new, like a small group of 10 to 20 juveniles. And if the males weren't stunners anyways, I'd probably call them off and get rid of them and just start over from scratch. The reason why we don't sell any females though is we're not a massive operation. For the most part, all of our female blue diamonds were like pretty much culled to the bone this year. And we don't really have that many tubs of them in the first place. We need to start off more just to meet the demand. So we're not trying to sell any breeders when we need more shrimp just to make our demand. So juveniles is all we can let go of. We don't sex any of our shrimp, though, that go out. It's pretty much we feed whatever we catch in the net. If it's the size of 1 centimeter, it goes in the cup. And it's the first 10 or 12 shrimp that we catch that get sent off. We don't pick and choose, except for culls. Like we definitely remove the culls as we're going through. But back to me.
Nope.
No.
So Tank Girl, I did. She said, did you post a wish list for you and the baby on Amazon or other places? So it is on Amazon. I did put it down in the comments below. If that doesn't work, you could always email us too. We'll send you the link. Yeah, Amazon. I did it at Target too, but like Amazon just has better prices for everything and cute stuff. So everyone's enjoyed Amazon a lot more. It's called the Diaper Party. Peplin Creek's Aquatics member for 20 months. Thank you so much. As if Shelby isn't going, then we aren't going either. You're funny. You guys got to be there. Everyone would be so let down if you guys didn't go there. They know that you have to be there. It's sad that I'll miss you guys this year, though. But you got to give a big hug to Grant. Everyone must give big hugs to Grant.
Unless you're sick, then stay away.
Yeah.
But
And
other
then
than that,
Jenna said, Brian, you and Foxy have to have a baby since that's why Shelby isn't going. So you have to have a good excuse. got to speed that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Garcia and Richard, your excuses are not valid. I'm sorry.
Not this time.
Back to me.
Yep.
All right. So we've been talking about, if you're just joining us, we've been talking about all these different animals that we haven't wanted to breed compared to shrimp. The next one is birds. I had birds growing up. They're loud. They're messy. They get seed everywhere. Not a fan of all of that. I do like the talking macaws and stuff like that. They're cool, but taking care of them and stuff like that, I'm not a big fan. We've got friends that live nearby, Greg and Helen. Greg runs a nursery, so I was always getting plants off of him when I did landscaping. But I couldn't help but go next door to Helen's aviaries and check out all the birds. They're definitely neat. They're loud. I love being in it when you're around it and you want to be there, but like you can't turn them off. Like that's the problem. And they're up early, and I'm not a morning
bird
person.
Gets the worm.
So for that reason, I'm not doing birds. Layla loves birds. She came home from the bus stop the other day, Friday, and there was vultures at the end of the road, and she stopped and was like, "They're so pretty," and I'm like, "Layla, those are vultures. They eat rotten meat. Stay away from them." And then she's like, "Oh,
She's like,
why are they so pretty
cute."
though?" And
They
I'm
were
just
playing
like,
in a
"Come
puddle.
on, Layla."
They were actually some of the nicest looking vultures. Usually, like vultures look mangy and like really decrepit. Like these were actually really nice vultures that I didn't think. I thought they were turkeys at first from a distance, and then I got closer and I'm like, no, those are really vultures. Like, why do they look so nice? Like they look like they've well groomed themselves. It's weird.
But if you want really exotic birds to like be near your house, just flood the RO system, let it run down the garage, down the driveway, into the pond at the end of the road, and voila, you have birds, right? That didn't really happen, but like it poured rain really fast and everything dried up but the puddle, and I did flood the RO at the same time, so it looked like it had gone all the way down to the hill, but it didn't go down the road. It was just a really good joke. It had been there maybe, but yeah, that I actually had Shelby rolling.
Mike said, how are the carnivorous plants doing? I have a few of them that are doing good. Unfortunately, there was a lot of weeds took over my bog, and I haven't had the time to go in there. I was going to do an update video, which is the reason I didn't do, like, I was going to do a video of, like, maintenance and how to take care of it, and then I'm stressing out because now I can't tell which one's a weed and which one's a carnivorous plant because some of my carnivorous plants look like weeds and when they don't bloom. So I'm, like, stressing out and then haven't got to it. But there's still a couple of the taller pitcher plants. Grant's probably going to have to get me more when he goes to the Keystone Clash, so I will be very disappointed if he doesn't get me some. But
we just need to set up another bog, though.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is her bog filled up and got kind of choked itself out.
Yeah.
But no, it's still running. It's just like nowhere for the plants to go.
Yeah. Oh, this came back through. I think you upgraded to a Caradina. Thank you so much for upgrading your membership too.
Appreciate all the support. Thank you, guys.
Oh, ooh, so sorry.
Night Owl Aquatics, member for 23 months. Are you not going to the Clash, buddy?
Where'd it go?
It's right there. Down. Yes, I don't tell me.
That's not it.
Okay, maybe not. Sorry.
Tell me. Yeah, here.
But they moved our table at the Clash, and I was like, whoa, wait a second. You got to move Night Owl with me. And they're like, what do you mean? Night Owl's not on the vendor list. So I don't know if you just decided not to do a vendor table at the Keystone Clash or what it was, but I was trying to get a table with you, Crip, so that way we could help each other out. I didn't want to leave you all alone like you were at the North Carolina show. So let us know. I don't know if it's too late or not, though.
Thank you, Night Owl Aquatics. Tube God said, where do seed shrimp come from? All
right, everybody, take a deep breath. Just go. You probably sucked in a couple of seed shrimp in that deep breath. They're everywhere. They're in the air. They're called seed shrimp because legit they go into the air like seeds do, and they can get anywhere. If you put a little bit of gravel into this glass of water and you just let it sit for a period of time, seed shrimp will end up in that glass. Maybe the conditions need to be somewhat not as stagnant or whatever, but yeah, they're in the air. If you have a source of water anywhere near you, they are going to end up in your tank. I actually like cycling aquariums with nothing, and once the seed shrimp appear, I know that the tank is getting to where it's inhabitable, and you can throw shrimp in it. So it's the same with some spores of algae too. So that's why it's really important to stay on top of everything.
Eric says, I'm so down to do that drive. Zen says, I honestly don't suggest long walks on the beach or at the Clash 1 week after a C-section. Yeah. It's the drive. I could, if it was near here, it probably wouldn't be a problem. Like if I had someone babysitting, but it's just too much work. And I don't even want to get up the first week. It hurts so much. It's just like screaming pain. So,
all right, I'm gonna do the last thing on the list since we're a little over an hour. The last thing is fish, and basically, we're not doing fish because it's a lot more work. I know there's people out there that can't keep shrimp, and I don't understand why. But like the people that can't keep shrimp, I don't know what you're doing with your fish or what you got going on. Maybe you just got a water softener system or something like that, and it's just better off for your fish than it is the shrimp. But I just don't understand how people can't keep shrimp alive or haven't figured it out after 1 or 2 attempts. If you follow along the channel and you're watching right now and you tried shrimp twice and they didn't work out for you, send me your parameters. Let's figure this out, because I honestly feel like it's the easiest thing to keep and you shouldn't have any issues. If you're also like, oh, I tried twice and I got them from this source and it's all imports and overgrown shrimp or all females, like, yeah, there's definitely issues. But if you've tried homebred shrimp more than once and failed twice and you're giving up on shrimp, let's work together. Let's figure that out, because I haven't come across anything like that. I've heard stories from people at shows, and I don't necessarily have the time to break down everything, but almost every time it was because they got shrimp from the pet store. Now, mind you, we get a lot of fish from different sources. The pet store, once upon a time, got like half of my check because me and Shelby were going there every week and buying fish, stocking tanks, adding tanks and stuff like that too. Not just restocking, but it was definitely a lot more failures when it came to fish. You get ick, you get balloon, swollen balloon bellies, or dropsy. You get all sorts of worms and parasites and scales, and there's just so many different issues when it came with fish that we just never had any of those with the shrimp. So like guppies, for instance, a couple of live streams ago, I can't remember if it was in person or a live stream now, but I've definitely been talking about how there's definitely a market out there for somebody to do guppies. There's not a ton of issues and problems with guppies, especially if you're breeding your own stock. You get them from good sources and stuff like that. You keep them quarantined. You can definitely avoid those issues, but like the reason why we're not going to just jump into guppies anytime is because we're already set up for shrimp. I'd rather do slightly bigger tanks if we were doing guppies. I feel like 20 gallons, they breed, do a lot better. Touring people's houses and stuff like that. The best guppy tanks I ever see are always like 20-gallon talls. So, or like 40 breeders. So I definitely feel shrimp is the better outtake for us rather than fish overall. But mainly because we've seen so many issues with fish.
And shipping's easier with shrimp.
Yeah.
Shipping is just
The shrimp can
much
live in the
easier.
bags for 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know any fish that, mind you, there's definitely scenarios where fish last that long, but repetitively from multiple different colonies and different varieties and stuff like that, across the board, all the shrimp that we sell on our website, except for the Sulawesi shrimp. I don't want to get crazy there. There is something I found a loophole, right? Everything else though, good in the bags for like 3 weeks, and I stand by that. Like I don't want people to test me on that and take the shrimp out for a ride and leave them out in the car and like, oh, they didn't last that long. No, in a proper.
I think one of the posts actually shows the evidence. I have kicked this
Yeah, no,
twice.
we've-
I
we've
apologize
done
to
it.
anyone that has got bothered by that.
I'm sure there's somebody watching right now that there's been like 2 weeks at least in transit, and the shrimp alive all alive. I can't remember. Arrived all alive. I don't know what I'm doing.
Fisk said, I vaguely recall that you had mud skippers. How did you set up their tank? And also, did you try keeping neorites with them? So I'm not going to tell you how I set up their tank because I unfortunately did not do very well with my mud skipper. It was eating, it was doing okay, and I don't know how I lost it. So I don't know what I did wrong. So I don't want to say the setup I did was good enough, but neorites should be able to go with mud skippers because they both are brackish water. They're both good in brackish water, but unfortunately, I don't know what happened to my mud skipper. It was very sad. I was very upset, and still.
There is a possibility it got through the crack in the lid and got out and escaped. There was no dead body, nothing. He could be living in a retention pond at the end of the road. I don't know.
We could only hope for the best.
But yeah, the tank was only a 10-gallon tank. We wanted to do like a large paludarium for it. We just don't have the counter space. So if you do mud skippers, I'd recommend doing like a 40-gallon where like 75% of it is like paludarium, like mud or kind of rocky, wet rocks that you can have them kind of living their best life, and then just a little bit of water for them to go in and out of. I did keep some Opaula shrimp in the tank though, and anytime one of the Opaula went into the shallow end, he'd jump out of the water or into the water, catch the Opaula, and then eat them and come out. So they're definitely fun.
Alishon says, "I promise to try to stay awake for Grant."
Got a surprise for you if you don't though.
I'm excited to know. Like that, if you do your first day, your first talk, you better call me. That better be on the agenda, what you tell me. Like, it's just going to be like, yes, he stayed awake, or no, he didn't. And I'm going to laugh so hard
if he didn't, we'll have photos.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Only Oscars June becoming a member again. Thank you so much. You know the routine. And you can also still get another sticker. And I thank you, and your 10% off discount too. And
I've got a thing for messing with people when they're asleep. When we were on a swim meet, we traveled to a different high school for it. One of the kids on the bus, bigger kid, fell asleep with some M&Ms in his hand, and I took the M&Ms and I stuffed his cheeks like a hamster. He woke up and ate all the M&Ms and never said anything. And like we're all cracking up on the bus after he's awake, and he's just like looking around and he just couldn't figure out why everyone's laughing. And people did get upset. They're like, he could have choked and died. And I'm like, I know CPR. If he stopped breathing, I would have helped the kid. Like, he was safe. He was in good hands. But it was hilarious.
I can't believe you brought that up. I remember I was like the only one was like, please stop doing that. He's a very nice kid. Yeah, he's a very nice kid. He's one of those people that you're like in class and ask like 500 and like the lesson doesn't even get taught because he just continues to ask questions. Very intelligent, but bothers a lot of people because just like that kid that asks you every question in the book within 10 seconds and you're just like, please, I can't even answer all of these by the rate you're asking them. Can't explain them. So yeah, he got picked on a lot.
And I did not pick on him more than anybody else on the swim team, though. I did not have any guidelines on who I picked on.
No.
They all got treated like half equally. Okay?
Me too. I was on that list as well.
She kept touching my feet. Who does that?
Richard said, I'll bring her some finches. She loves those too. That's one of the ones I don't mind. And I do want a nice like outdoor cage too for them. The only problem is like, I'm worried about wintertime here, like what we would have to do.
Well, Shelby might be getting a job where she's going to have to promote bird accessories.
Might help.
So she had already brought up the fact that you have finches.
Yeah. Because the last time we were there, Layla thought they were cute, and I said that these won't be that big of an issue. I do like,
But don't you bring finches on Friday? Do you hear me?
We're not ready for.
Yeah, that's not a thing before the baby.
He knows when we're ready.
Okay.
I like the gray-headed birds. They're gray with the green bodies. I can't remember what they're called though. I enjoy those ones a lot. I don't feel very good.
You okay?
It's up to you.
All right.
I'll be back.
Well, so yeah, if she's got to do some videos and stuff like that, maybe we'll borrow some finches and not necessarily keep some finches, but yeah, little tiny finches wouldn't be too bad. All right. So I was about to do something too. She walked away. How's it going, Aquatic Moose? It was funny to see you in the Flip Aquatics video. Listen, I don't know if they posted the entire video of me riding the shark, but I'm going to say that thing was rigged from the get-go because I got on that shark and my hands were all messed up. I had just got done aquascaping and my hands were all cut up and messed up from trying to break rocks and mess up wood. And I was like, all right, give me a second. I'm going to figure out which hand I can grip with so that way I have the best shot at it. And I started out with the left hand just because I'm a right hand guy. If the left hand hurts at all, I'm just going to go right-handed. Excuses. Flip goes, you ready? And I'm like, no. He just goes, you ready? The guy hits the machine. So it's going. I'm like, no. And I was done. So you can go in the video. You can look at it. I had my left hand. Should have never went left hand. But no excuses. I still beat Jason Adams. I had one goal, one person I was trying to beat. I wasn't trying to win. I heard what PC got. It was ridiculous. Rigged, though. You can also give the guy, hey, here's $50. Go easy on it and put it on kid mode. They definitely put it on full-blown Cowboy Cerrone going in and riding Dana's Buck Steel, like whatever it was. I can't remember his name now. But anyways, yeah, no, that was rigged. You can go. I wish they'd post the whole thing, but I'm a right-handed guy. Check the video.
Thank you so much, Zen. And thank you, Jenna, as well, for sharing it in chat.
Are you okay? Like, you went from 0 to 100?
I think the baby kicked my stomach and like made me vomit, so it was not pleasant.
You didn't have to mention that. You could just said maybe a little upset. Demonetized.
Oh, no, honey, you said way worse. The Adventures of X, welcome, says, do female Neos tuck away their eggs sometimes, or did I lose them? Maybe they hatched? Thanks.
So they don't tuck them away. They can reabsorb their eggs if they feel like the eggs aren't going to survive, like there isn't enough food source or there's predators in the tank. She could have dropped them if she molted too early. First-time mothers are not the best. They aren't the best at keeping their eggs. They're not the best at keeping their molts. So what happens is they drop them, they molt them. The eggs aren't guaranteed the first time. I don't get too concerned about it if it's the first time mom. It's definitely a concern though if these are a reoccurring problem that you're having and you're not getting babies. It is also possible that they did hatch. I don't really freak out about a female going from pregnant to not pregnant and not seeing babies for like the first 2 weeks because she's really good at placing her babies in areas where there's not a lot of predators. And chances are that's somewhere that you can't see them and they're just hiding until they make that first molt. Once they shed their first skin, then they kind of walk around and move around for the food and stuff.
So Night Owl said, yes, I'll be going to Clash. I was behind on bills and sold a bunch of amethysts, so I'll be able to make it now.
Oh, very nice.
Amethysts are always good. I don't know if that's like one of those minerals that would ever like go. So many people love purple, and they're just like, that's one of my favorites.
If you have any amethyst glass, Shelby expressed some interest in that today, so I'd be willing to grab some of that at the Clash.
I showed him a
Bring
picture.
her home a nice little gift.
It's a little sad, but it was a estate sale, and it was like 2 huge tables of just beautiful glass.
The advertisement was all of the purple glass in like the state of Florida, and I'm like, it's there. Look at it.
It's so beautiful. Oh, so I'm very big into glass pieces, like stained glass, and it's just so beautiful. Like, can't get over it. Zen said, follow-up question for what June said. Is there a depth of which dwarf shrimp don't do well, or is any tank okay? I've wondered that.
So any tank is really good for shrimp. It doesn't matter the depth. They honestly could survive in like an inch of water if there was enough water to keep the perimeter stable and you didn't lose like an inch of water a day, right? So it'd have to be like an auto top-off system or contained system to be that low. But any taller tanks than like 10-gallon, like 20-gallon tall, you're pretty much wasting space because shrimp don't particularly use that top water column. However, water volume is water volume. Doesn't matter where it's at. And the more you have, the more stable, consistent parameters you're going to be able to keep. So the bigger the tank, the better. It doesn't really matter which direction you go. But if you can, I prefer to go out more than up just because you have more space and the shrimp won't be crawling on all over each other. I could probably keep more shrimp in a 20-gallon long than I could a 20-gallon tall.
So, SWFL, I'm just starting shrimp. Didn't think I would like shrimp now. I get magnifying glass out and watch shrimp loving them. I would think that it would be so cool if they made a magnifying glass bow front for shrimp that like makes shrimp look gigantic when they swim around. It would probably not look as cool for everything else, but like, you know how the bowl that we usually do, that live bowl, it's got a lower quality, but it still looks really cool, and like the shrimp looks so much bigger, and so do the plants. So I think that'd be cool just to like have like little cubes that can be for
I think
older people to
at
enjoy.
an aquarium, it'd be cool if the glass was just a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
So you just look at all the shrimp and they're all like foot longs.
It's so cool. Zen said, no, if you are looking to breed neorites, they typically need slightly higher salinity than what mud skippers are comfortable in to actually produce viable eggs. So take it for someone who actually knows what they're talking about.
They probably won't breed in my Opaulas at 007 salinity. Is that what you're telling me, Zen?
That's probably why we're having problems.
Because you could stop me before I try something in the near future. Maybe not. I don't know how many neurites I really have.
Not many. Alishon says, I like M&M's. Just saying. He's like, ooh, surprise. This is great. Lovebirds. No, we did at one of the pet stores, me and Layla fell in love with this bird, and it was a lovebird, and it was just so beautiful, and Layla just, it was tugging at my heartstrings, but it was $1,000, and I'm like, I don't see myself spending $1,000. I'm sorry, you're cute, Layla, but $1,000, like, birds are mad expensive, and I think it's just because like their food isn't that expensive. They don't. It doesn't take much to take care of them compared to like our big dogs and stuff. So like buying a bag of seed is not going to be as expensive. But Rusty said, "Hey guys, I use the API freshwater test kits and my parameters are close to perfect every time. Do you trust them?" So I use the API probably the most out of all of my my test kits. I'm so sorry I have not come up with this video yet to explain the differences. As long as it's in date and it's not expired, usually it's pretty accurate as long as you're following the test to the exact way to do it. Because I know a lot of people are not doing it. Don't wait 5 minutes for their ammonia test, and that could show that your ammonia is good, and then all of a sudden 5 minutes later you come back and it's not so good. So as long as you're doing the test correct and they're coming out, they're good. Those are a pretty good water volume test kit that I do enjoy using. So
Just take this with a grain of salt, though, because all test kits can be like up to 20% inaccurate in either direction. So you can always do larger tests instead of 5 mil. You can do 10 and 15 milliliter, use more drops, and get an actual rating for closer accuracy.
and try not to wash. This is one thing I was making a big mistake with, is that I was washing all of my test tubes with tap water. Residue does stay behind, so that will throw off your test kit as well. So try to wash them with RO water, or if you don't have RO, it's what's it come in the jugs? Distilled water. So try to rinse them with that. Otherwise, it will throw them off, because I was having higher pH ratings with the tap water residue. And I mean, it was, and some of these tanks, I need it to be really low. It's not very good for that to be thrown off. Now I'm thinking that tank's not good anymore. So Zen said, I think they need 0.16 or higher. But if I have to Google that again, been a few years since I've looked.
Yeah, you probably don't need to Google it. That's high enough that it's,
Yeah.
even if it's close to that, it's too high.
Low vibes.
Back to me.
Tank water before pulling sample. Yeah, I do like to wash it with RO. Then we dip it in to the tank and then use it that way, because it just works better. I don't know. I've tried several times. The only way you can get that residue off is to dilute it with a RO water or distilled water, where the tank won't do that. Yeah, I guess that's back up to you.
All right. We just got done putting together another video that's going to come out before the stand video. That's a tour of Mimic Natures. He had almost 50 aquariums at the peak of his shrimp keeping and fish keeping hobby. He is sadly getting out of it, so I wanted to make sure we got up there, got a video of it. Shelby's pieced it all together. I've just got to go through. I made most of my notes. I got to finish them up so I can do the voiceover for the video. The intro and outro is already done. Nailed those first time. I got several witnesses for that. I was on a roll that week on knocking out voiceovers. So that video should be coming out hopefully this week. But in that video is a detailed, thorough go through of the rack that he is giving away. 16 aquariums, 10-gallon tanks, shrimp, plants, some fish included, lights, RO system, minerals, foods, everything you need to get started in keeping your own shrimp colony, shrimp rack, getting started on breeding your own, whatever it is. All you have to be able to do is drive to Macon, Florida to pick it up. We can't ship a rack full of aquariums and live shrimp, so that is the only downside. If you're interested in that, please reach out to us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com so we can get your name on the list to choose from. So I'm sure we'll get a lot more interest once the video comes out and people see what they're actually getting. So It is a beautiful rack. SC said, I remember growing up and going to the pet store where lovebirds were like 20 to 30 bucks.
Right, that's what I was saying. Like, I couldn't believe how expensive they've gotten.
I think it's the import laws and everything like that. You can't just get them as easy as you could back in the day.
It's been crazy. We've had you got some bad storms. Yeah, we had bad storms earlier today. I'm glad it went away. I mean, it like torrential downpour, and then that was it. Almost lost power, but that's about it. Said everyone can enter for me.
Next on the list, today we got in probably our biggest plant order to date, just on varieties and maybe quantity also. But there's a couple stem plants that didn't come in that well. But besides that, these are the nicest plants we've ever gotten my hands on. I talked about it at the Fish Fam Link giveaway briefly last week. And the plants came in today. I got them all in the tanks. Some of the swords I put outside. I'm going to let those grow out. But I thought for you guys, I would just go over the list of plants. I am going to put together the list with prices tomorrow. So if you're interested on any of these plants, you can reach out to us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com, and I can give you some prices or a full list if you want as well. So we got some Crips, Euceteriana Green. I'm going to butcher a lot of these names, huh?
Every single one of those, are you?
Yep. Some Axelrodi and some Nuri. The Axelrodi and the Nuri is in tissue culture cups. And then also we got some Anubis Minima Dragon Claw in tissue culture and some Boost Ketigan Mini Round in tissue culture. Everything else, though, is in pots. Anubis Striped, Anubis Barteri, Anubis Nana, some Rose Swords, some Petrupus, Windlove, and Latifolia Java Ferns, some Uruguayese tricolor swords, Anubis Golden, Anubis Wrinkle Leaf, a Flame Sword. We got two different forms of Bulbitis, Anubis Round Golden Coin, Anubis Nana, Diamond, some Samulus parvifolus. I can't pronounce that. Not yet, anyways. But I was talking about that the other week, too. It is green, though. It's not red, so definitely turns green. But under good enough light, should turn red. Anubis Glarba. See, there is Anubis Glarba. I don't think we got the Dragon Claw. So I'll have to go back for that. We got some Pocostem and Octopus. That is one of the stem plants that did come in really nice. So did the Rotala Machanandra Mini Pink. We got some Sudoku South, some Thor's Hammer Java Fern, some Anubis Butterfly, Devil's Eye, and Chameleon Swords. We got some Lewigia. Oh, man, I'm butchering that. Some Lewigia Cuban White Edge that did not come in that well, so I'm going to draw that out before I let any of that go. We got some Narrow Mini Java Fern, and then some Anubis Round Petite, and then some Eero Colin Vietnam, Anubis Mini pots of Petite. They're smaller pots than the other nursery that we get, but the Anubis itself is bigger. So they are way nicer Anubis Petite than we were offering available before. These ones are a little bit more expensive, though. That is the one little downside to these. You get a lot bigger plants. They are healthier plants. Not everything is more expensive, though. Just that the Petite is, and it's understandable. Just because of like how much more Anubis you get. There's like 3 Anubis compared to the one that you get beforehand. So the swords, like I broke out the swords, the nursery that we get our swords from, there's just one sword in each pot when we buy the swords. From this nursery, There is like 2 swords in some, but some of them had 4 swords. And the ones with 2 swords, the swords were way bigger and nicer than the pots that had 4 swords in them. So overall, besides the 2 stem plants that didn't come in that nice, everything was phenomenal. So if you want some prices and stuff like that, let us know. I know Steven, I kind of got that Luidia White Cuba Edge just for myself to kind of play around in my planted tank. I also got some Pink Lady that didn't come in that well either, but that wasn't available. That was just for myself.
See how that turns out for you. You saw his comment though, right?
Yeah. That's why I brought it up.
And Hagen said, since we don't have enough tanks, we're going to start sorting our Neos between our Guppy and Inler tanks. Yeah, we've been doing decent with them. I don't think they breed as much, but I mean, hey, if they breed a little bit, it's better than having too overpopulated, or you could have some more tanks and increases it. So, and then,
congrats on my baby rabbit snail, Skipper.
yeah, that's the other one I was going to bring up. So.
All right, back to me.
Abstract says, how's baby Becky do? He commented on the post that we'd have to name the baby Becky now because Aunt Becky took us to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant. Yeah, unfortunately, Grant's got the last name that is not made for that name, that's for sure. Hagen Hill said, will rock piles help the survival rate? Tremendously. Yes. Lava rocks to me are.
It doesn't have to be a rock pile though. You could have a clump of moss. You could have any type of like nursery setting where
I like rocks. They hold a lot more, biofilm to me.
They could also be crevices for Mulm to be building up and left behind. So I'm not a big fan of the rock piles. I like moss. I can always shake the moss out, do a little water change. And even without sucking up the babies, I still suck up some of the debris of the mold.
We should do that side by side, though. I feel like babies would, pregnant women would feel way more safe in a little rock cavern than they would moss that moves and fish tend to go through, where they can't really typically go through rock. So I think that they would have a higher chance in a rock pile than they would moss or plant pile.
Maybe, but
yes, it would be more work. I would say so. But the baby is doing good, Abstract. It's making me exhausted. 1 more month.
And then we did do a big restock order on our salty shrimps, salts, and also with Plamsky, so that way we can sell more nets and keep the Cure and some of his sampler packs in stock. Those have been selling quite well lately, so we want to make sure we stay on top of all of that. But we will be getting more of the large containers of the KH, GH salty shrimp. I know a lot of people were waiting for those, so hopefully we'll get those here soon. We just placed the order though, so coming all the way from Germany, that is going to take some time. But if you're looking for shrimp nets, we should get those the end of this week also. And then all of that will be available and on the website. And we do have the sale running right now. TGOEshrimp.com. Everything's buy 10, get 3 free. Lots of stuff on sale. We are trying to sell out as much as we can. Also on the Fish Fam link, we talked about we are almost out of t-shirts. We're trying to get rid of all of the t-shirts before we order new ones. We just don't have a lot of storage for shirts and merchandise and stuff. So until we get rid of the 50 women t-shirts that we have left, or it's probably not that many, but we definitely sold way more men's shirts. We knew that. We ordered like that, but sold very few of the women's V-neck t-shirts. Most of the women prefer the normal cut anyways. So we've got an offer. If you spend over $100 on the website, put in the notes what size t-shirt you would like, and we will send you one of the V-neck shirts. Doesn't have to be for yourself. It could be for your spouse. I'd love to see somebody though wearing them at the Keystone Clash. So if you place a smaller order than $100 and you promise to wear it at the Keystone Clash, I'll include a t-shirt also.
Oh, I don't think the nets are on the website.
No, they're not yet.
Nathan said, "What do the shrimp nets y'all get look like? Size, etc. Please and thank you." There should be one right there on the raccoon tank, maybe. Raccoon tank.
So these are the nets. We have square ones. I prefer the square ones. They do kind of get distorted. This is like one of our oldest ones that we probably had, but they hold up for a long time. Not a lot of rust on it. There's a wee bit. I'm not saying they're rust free, but we've had this one for we've had this one for a really long time. But it does have the basket net, and it does hold its shape, so it makes it super easy to go through and catch them all. Shelby's got a newer one. Just remember where you got that.
Whoa. I'm just kidding. I know raccoon tank. If it's it's one of my tanks. It has one of these nets because I refuse to catch them if I don't have one of these nets. These are my favorite nets, and I will vouch for these 100%. Just much easier to catch a shrimp with. That just because the other nets, sometimes this part gets loose and then it's like swiveling when you're trying to catch a shrimp, and this little tiny motion can make that shrimp just jump right out. So this one is just much easier. It's like trapping a little rabbit, in the box. So much easier to do. And I enjoy these, and you can always measure it to the perfect length of the tank. Like I use it for the 55, and I don't even get wet because I use like this size. It's like perfect to scoop it out. It's like scooping them instead of struggling,
But they are the ideal shrimp net, and the cheapest probably that we've come across to resell.
Frog said, "I welcome in 3 idiots talk aquariums. We're only 2 here, so Good afternoon." Frog said, "I did an order and we'll wear it at the Clash." Yeah, thank you.
Just email us though, and I hope it wasn't something we shipped out today. But wait, what?
I think you're the one we're trying to email.
Oh, is it?
I think you're I believe I sent an email to you twice. So check your emails and get back to us.
Yeah, if you placed the order and you made dinner pads, we ran out of dinner pads. I don't know how. Yeah, I took them off.
Okay.
And so we'd like to include something else, or we could just refund it. But yeah, we don't have the dinner pads.
Jenna said, "If I spend $100, I can make Steven wear a V-neck t-shirt."
I don't know if we have 4XL. I will look, and yeah.
I think we go to double X in the women's.
I think there's at least triple.
We'll have to work. But yeah, that's so funny. I'm sorry. Nathan says, "I'll wear one if you send it to me. I'm not going to the Clash, but I'll make a post on your Instagram." That'd be so funny. Okay. That's so funny. They are a little shorter for women's t-shirts. I think that's why I like the men's t-shirts a little bit more, because they're longer shirts. Keith says, "I've had 2 square nets for 4 years. The only net I use for shrimp." Yeah, exactly. We've had like all the other ones. These ones drive me crazy. They work. They're okay. But like I said, when you get it in the water, this swivels too much for me. And it's just not. This one's okay. This one's
I love them because they're more durable, but they're
here.
not as easy to catch the shrimp. Like those ones don't rust as easy. Yeah. The nets don't rip as easy. Like I've ripped probably 2 of these nets just because it's not the most.
Don't touch my nets then.
And when you clean them, if they go anywhere near any of the other scissors, they get holes in them. So yeah, or the corner of one of the tanks, like the rim was like, I don't know. But I've never ripped one of those JBJ nets.
That is our website down below for you, Dixon. And then, sorry, you wear it as a crop top. It is the new rage, It's so funny. There was a video about Adam Sandler. Someone talks to him about how there's a new Madam Sandler style apparently, where you wear baggy pants with a crop top. So you could just pull a Madam Sandler. We have not made towels. We have a couple things in the works. I have a surprise. Hopefully, trying to work on stuff for if someone does get something for our baby registry. I'm hoping to make like a cool sticker, but I have to have the person available to do it. We should definitely make towels. That would be really cool. That needs to be like on our next. What we want to do is order T-shirts, and towels, and hats at the same time. So like that's the same company that will do all of it.
I was gonna say, like, I think we should do towels for 36-month members.
Oh, that's a good idea. So maybe we get that done before and figure out a good.
Or if we get towels before Sam Scales print, then we do towels for 24-month-old members.
Right.
Yeah.
It's taking a little bit, so we'll figure something out. Get creative on this. We got to get our members taken care of. So.
Just go to the Sam Scales post and just start commenting #24 until he like figures it out that 24 months needs a Sam Scale print. So if you're one of Sam Scales' friends, followers, just comment #24 until he figures it out.
He's so far behind with all these shows. So, but maybe he can get it to us by the Keystone Clash. That would. And there's a lot of our members at the Keystone Clash, so that would work out really nice. But it didn't work out last year, I don't think. Get out of here. Off to annoy Sam.
Look at this adorable little tissue culture. We were working so hard, Shelby. This must have got caught up in your hair. This thing is adorable. It's so tiny, but it is a Cryptocorn Nuri. And yeah. These are what are available. These perfect little gel, still very healthy. I actually ordered these for myself so I can plant them and grow them out, but I will let go of some of the plants that I kept for myself because I want to make another order from this place in the next week or two because the plants are way better than I was expecting. The prices were good enough that I'm going back. Yeah, it's cute.
It's exactly what he said when it came in.
Oh man. And then the Anubis pots are little, like compared to normal pots too. I go into the room, I'm like, Shelby, it's so cute. Look at this thing. But the Anubis was still big. I gotta go get it.
Yeah. Oh, you really don't drip water everywhere.
Don't tell me what to do.
That is actually like you should have that as a shirt. That's how much I say that every day. Because he works in these tanks and then it gets all over the floors. It's a mess. He left me at the wrong time. Like, what am I supposed to talk about? But if anyone does know somewhere,
Axelrod. Show them that one.
That one's packed to the gills. I don't want to open it because you break the seal. But I mean, this is a crypt, and if you can tell, especially right there, there's hundreds of plants in this. You could split this up, fill an entire tank with this. This is one of my favorite crypts. I have a lot of these in different tanks. Show and tell time. Yes, it is show and tell time. That's why I can't wait to do the baby stuff. I cannot tell you how cute some of the outfits that people have got us were. I can't even. It's so cute. Yeah, so must be going to spam because it's coming from Grant's. Why on my plate?
You said don't drip water everywhere. God, you always find something, right?
He wants to see the whittle Anubis.
Oh, well, here we go. So, little pot, big pot, little Anubis, big Anubis. So you might be paying $5 more per little pot, but Well, look at the Anubis. This thing is massive in size. Like I've got some Anubis petite clumps this big because I've been hoarding them for aquascapes, and they've taken like years to get to this size. So for $5 more, you can go like pretty much 2 years in time with your plants. So I across the board, all of the plants are like this. I already said the sword thing. Look how many crypts are in this thing. That is, it's chock block full.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with all these?
Frogs. It is. We're just out of the dinner pads. If you want to check something else on our website to either replace or we could just refund for it.
Or I can give you a little pot of Anubis.
Oh my goodness. Or if you want something else, just let us know so we could get it. It's literally just sitting on the counter ready to be shipped out. Shirts in there, everything. We just don't have the shrimp dinner pads. We must have sold it the last one at the last show. And sometimes when we come back from the shows, the inventory isn't correct on the website and we don't realize it. Yep. So I want the last container. Hello, the fish room. Thank you for joining. I'd put Grant in spam mail too. Stephen P. Crypt only scape. So I almost have like a full crypt tank. I think the only thing that's not a crypt in that tank is one like melon sword, which is, I just put it in there for like some pop of color. And it's just happened to survive for many, many years. I won first place with it I think 3 years ago at the Florida.
That's the tank I thought you were going to win first place with, and you won with the other one.
I know, but I entered that one the year before and won with it though.
I don't think it got first. Maybe in the category, yeah.
But it's.
It wasn't the one you won Best of Show with.
No,
that's the only one I'm salty about.
But it's a really, really nice tank. Crypts are so easy. It's just been a sand. There's like no nutrients other than the fish, and then that's my Skittles tank with all my cool. We're terrible wilds.
And I wasn't even salty you beat me. I was salty that I didn't pick the tank that was gonna win.
Yeah, I know that. But it is almost all crypts. It's Crypt spiralis. I got brown windinis, a crypt parva in the front.
And a philodendron, it's a monstera growing out of it.
Yeah, but that's not a crypt. It's a crypt only scape we're talking about. But now there's a.
I ruined it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And now I realize there's more plants.
There's a bunch of moss
talking
too
about
in
it
that
now.
tank.
There's boost and moss in that tank. I tried.
There's some Anubis.
But it's mainly crypts because they're the easiest.
The only thing that looks good in there. I mean, no, everything looks good in there. But it's like the main thing you can see.
You're rude. Every plant looks good in that tank because it's one of those tanks I just drop water bottles into once in a while just to top it off because it doesn't have a lid because it's got a piece of wood sticking out of it. So I love to do those scapes so much, but then regret it when you can't put a lid on it. And I would just have to cut it out, but that's too much work. Nathan said, I want and need more of the favorite plant y'all have. All mine died and it was my fault. Moved it too much. Oh no.
It's the Rongulus. If you make an order on the website and put Rongulus, I'll ship it in the box and I'll include your t-shirt too.
Grant said I could have a plant. Give me Anubis for replacement if that works for you.
If that's the plant you want, I've got a list of other plants you can get. It just happened to be a $15 plant, and I was like, you could get this. I'm so happy with those little tiny Anubis petite cups. Like, I might have paid more money for them, but I'm ecstatic with them.
Stephen P says my crypt only scape has moss and Anubis too. Yeah, they just tend to go really well together. Dixon says, I do not see tissue cultures on the website. Nothing is on the website yet, but you can email us before they even get on the website. It's kind of like an exclusive thing.
And I'll be honest, I don't think I'm going to put the tissue cultures on the website because they don't have the longest shelf life. Mm-hmm. Some of them do, some of them don't. And I don't want that life to end in the box on the way to you. Like, I've had that happen to me too many times. So like while they're fresh, I'm going to offer them to people online. I'll bring them to shows, but I don't think shipping and having them on the website is something I'm ever going to do. I bought the some of the tissue cultures just for myself. The Axelrod ones were for Crypt Keeper, so you can grow those out for the Keystone Clash. And the other ones are just pretty much, I like putting plants into my shrimp tanks that I know 100% are pest free. So I have some booths, I have some crypts that I can put into some of my tanks, the cryptocornuries I can put in the tanks, and I have a couple of them that are ready for new shrimp. I put them in before the shrimp get there, and I just leave them. And when that tank's ready to be torn down, I have a bunch of cryptocornuries that will sell for a good amount of money. They'll be super healthy and algae free because they're in the shrimp tank that's never been introduced to algae. And I can propagate them that way. And it's pretty much like just letting an antique car sit and reselling it later. And you make more money off of it. It's easy.
And now that I know our emails are not going through to you, I added you on Facebook, so we can solve it if it ever has an issue next time. But she said that's fine. I'd love Anubis.
Okay.
It took me I'm very bad with names sometimes and like registering things. So like I'm so glad that clicked in my mind.
You know those bags that I bought that are too small for everything? They're like 2-inch bags instead of 3-inch bags. For the little Anubis. There's a little mini Java Fern too, I think. I don't know. Maybe the Anubis was the only mini.
The Bulbitis is pretty small, but I don't think they're in a small pot.
I have the mini Java Ferns.
Yeah.
I think
Nathan said, yes, Grant, that's plant may be needing to order something very soon then. Yeah, we got some, don't we?
I have 2 bins of it growing outside, so I can just throw that in a bag for you and send it on its way.
Dixon said, can you ship the cultures to Idaho? I need one tank that is not overrun with snails.
As long as you place the order in tomorrow and I ship it out this week. I'm not trying to I want everything to go out Wednesday or Saturday. So I can give you the order tomorrow. I tried hard today to get everything together to put a list. And the reason why I read it on here out loud was because I didn't get to that. It took me a long time to put all the plants, set them up. They didn't come with labels. Like out of everything that I was expecting wrong with the plants, they just didn't come with labels. So I don't know if that was like an extra price I had to pay to get labels or not, but I pretty much had to do extra work. Shelby brought out the label machine. I don't really have nails to even get the stickers to unpeel off the backing. So that alone took me way too long today, and I didn't get to make the list. But tomorrow, it is a priority to get that done. I think first thing tomorrow morning, I'm going to put that second coat of paint on for you. So that is done, and there's no fumes in the house while you're at work. Wait, do you have tomorrow? No, you work tomorrow. Yeah, so it's
been like the first Tuesday in a long time.
It's going to be the first thing I do, and then I'm going to get the plant list order together. So like by noon, I should have that ready for everybody tomorrow.
And Mike said, "What's been the best part of summer?"
Woo! I would be honest, like I couldn't tell you the seasons or anything like that really have affected anything. But like the best part of summer is definitely the plant and the shrimp growth that we're getting outside. We haven't really had time to enjoy the summer. Like we haven't gone kayaking. I think with all the past pregnancies, we've got photos of Shelby quite pregnant on a kayak in the middle of a river. So we really haven't been able to enjoy much of summer. We've been inside pretty much all year trying to get things done. And it's too hot in Florida to do much outside. So it's like anything I'm doing outside, I'm trying to do in the morning or like after dinner when it's not that hot out. So
yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, we didn't get to do as much, but I did enjoy being able to go to the shows that we did this year. Like I really enjoyed Vegas when I didn't think I was going to. So it was fun and adventurous to like get on a plane and go somewhere new for the first time. That was probably like the highlight of my summer besides like the shows and doing the multiple aquascapes that I did at the last 2 shows that we were at. So like that was fun, and like I feel like if I don't do that at the shows, like I'll be letting myself down. So it's just like set up like a new goal to always have, but I won't be able to do all of them, but at least have a good amount of nice ones there.
And then also, like, this was the first summer where the kids went back to school, and I was like, kind of didn't need them to go back to school this year. Like, they were self-sufficient. If anything, they helped me out more around the house than I'm able to get done without them. So I definitely missed the kids going back to school. Not like it was a burden or anything like that beforehand, but Dad, I'm hungry is definitely something that was like terrorizing me for multiple summers while Shelby was at work. Also, you didn't work that much this summer compared to others.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I just got to enjoy the kids and hang out, and it wasn't so much on their time as it was on my time. Like, I kind of just stopped what I was doing and I was like, I'm going to go play with the kids now. And we really kind of just enjoyed all around summer hanging out with each other. So
yeah. And we did go to the river, we just didn't get pictures.
Yeah.
We didn't have our phones. So
we were supposed to go to the river yesterday or Saturday, and that didn't happen, but
yeah.
it's okay.
Hi, hungry, I'm Dad. Hello, all things fishing, Lady Diane. Hagen Hill said, I still got to get our canoe trip video finished. That one has Prego Katie in it.
Was Lady Diane coming to the baby shower?
That's a far drive. I definitely did not invite anyone outside of the state to not make them feel
But if you want
obligated.
to, you know, you're welcome, Lady Diane.
Oh, man. Yeah, there's some people I just didn't even invite. Like, I know that they would probably want to come, but, like, I just didn't want to make them feel obligated. So I didn't even invite some of the people that I think would want to come. I feel bad. I'm one of those people that just, like, I don't know.
You weren't invited because
you're
out of state, but you are, of course, invited.
Personally inviting you, yes. But I did not want you to feel obligated to drive to Florida.
Just like Jenna, if you just want to show up, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. I was like, oh, I wish I could, but there's.
I was going to let Richard know about the swap meet next month, and then that there's the baby shower after if Cynthia wanted to go, and then Richard can come hang out with us at the diaper party. Was that what we were calling it?
Okay. Is that what the boys is?
No, isn't that what somebody said? It's called the diaper party. I thought that's what he was referring to.
Hagen Hill said, our daughter come before the shower, so now it's a baby after party. Ours was just about. Ours is only 2 weeks before the baby, so hopefully we don't have that issue though, because I don't know.
It's hard to make plans for a baby shower when you're partying it up in Vegas and Chicago.
It was, yes. We were very busy, and I'm having to plan it, and I'm just like, I've never done something like this. I don't do birthday parties. Like, we've always been one of those people that kind of like, we did like one big birthday party where we did like Nerf guns and stuff and like set up like a whole course in the front yard. But most of the time we like to let the kids choose like a birthday party with their friends and less presents, or you get some presents and then we go do something big and fun, like the aquarium, the zoos. We've gone Legoland one year. Like, we give them the option and they usually choose to go to the bigger places, and it's changed. But
Jen wanted to go to Mario Andretti race park this year, so
that was fun.
Layla wanted to go bowling, which was more money than the race park. How?
Right.
What?
Bowling's
what is going on bowling?
Now. It's a rip off. Alice Thomas says, I need a diaper party in another 20 years. That's actually funny. You know, they have the over the hill party at 40. I think at 60 you should have like a diaper party. just as a joke too. That'd be so funny.
Well, I think that's going to be it for tonight. Yeah, thank you everybody for all your support. One way or another, you guys are here. You made it this far. We appreciate you guys. Stay tuned. We should have a couple of videos rolling out for you. Definitely want to get them done before the baby's here. So 1 month to go. See you guys next week.
Thank you so much, everybody.